Welcome pre-algebra students to lesson 3.2, the evaluation of algebraic expressions and formulas, beginning on page 79 and going through page 82. The first thing we need to get down into our notes is a vocabulary word, which is substitution. Substitution is the process of replacing each variable with its value to find the actual value of an algebraic expression. For example, in try it number 7, letter A, we have x being worth 5 and y being worth 2. So in A, the formula, or the expression rather, is 2x minus 7y. At this point, we're going to take 5 now and substitute it into x's position. And then we're going to take 2, which is what y is worth, and substitute it into y's position. Now remember, when you write 2x, that's like 2 times x. And 7y, it's like 7 times y. But notice it's negative 7 times y. So you got to keep your positives and negatives straight while you're doing all of this too. Therefore, if I substitute 5 into x's position and 2 into y's position, it turns into this. 2 times 5, negative 7 times 2. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. Negative 7 times 2, negative times a positive, is a negative 14. Now I have 10 minus 14. If I'm adding the opposite, that's 10. Oops, there we go. Come on, pen. There we go. 10 plus a negative 14. So I would subtract. Negative goes to the higher value. My answer is negative 4. Going on to example B, xy squared negative 3xy positive 10. That's our expression. Into every x position, since this is the setup up here, x is 5, y is 2, I'm going to substitute those numbers into the letters position. So I would have 5 times 2 squared, negative 3 times 5 times 2 plus 10. Well, order of operations. First, I need to square the 2 in this part of the expression. So I'm going to have 5 times 4, because 2 squared is 4. Then I'm going to multiply this first. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15 times 2 plus 10. Now I'm going to multiply my two values. 5 times 4 is 20. Negative 15 times 2 is negative 30 plus 10. Now from left to right, 20 minus 30, that would come first in order, is negative 10 plus 10 is 0. And there you have it. Remember, at any time, if you want to see it again, go over it. Remember, you can stop, rewind, pause, and the like. Sorry about that. Had a little wobble there. Okay, going on, next page, page 80, try it 8. Get all lined up here. Here we go. So try it 8. In this case, x is going to be worth 3/4, y is going to be worth 4, and z is going to be worth negative 1. So now we have 3 variables. Our first expression in A is z times 8x plus y times z. Now notice 8x plus y times z, which is yz, is within parentheses. So this has to happen first. So it's going to be negative 1, because that's what z is worth, times, and now I put them in brackets because I got to start using parentheses for what I am substituting. So 8 times 3/4, which is x, plus 4, and it's a plus 4 because 4 is positive, so I got plus 4. Also, I have plus here, so it's just plus 4, and then times the negative 1. So I have to do with what's in the brackets first, and I do my first multiplication combination, and that's 8 times 3/4. I do my crosses, so 4 becomes 1, 8 becomes 2. I'm left with 2 times 3, which is 6. Here, I have positive 4 times the negative 1. Positive 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Okay? Notice it is still within those brackets, so I must do this first. So I end up with negative 1 times 2, because 6 minus 4 is 2. I end up with a negative times a positive. My answer is negative 2. Going on, x is still worth 3/4, y is still worth 4, and z is still worth negative 1. The expression is 10xy minus z plus 2 over xy squared minus 3. Now that over, this thing that looks like a fraction is a fraction actually, but remember, if it's over something, this over line also means divide. So I'm putting all of my values in their proper position. So 10 times 3/4 times 4 minus negative 1. Now I have to do this because it's minus here, but z itself is negative 1. So I have like a double negative here. So minus negative 1 plus 2 over 3/4 times 4 squared minus 3. Okay, I'm going to first work through this part and then this part. Okay, so here I go. I'm just going to write down the part I'm going to work with first. So I just recopied it down here. So when I go 10 times 3/4 times 4, I'm going to do my crosses. Now I didn't line that up so well, but this is like 4 over 1. So these eliminate. So I end up with 10 times 3 is 30. Now here, a minus 1 times a minus 1 is a positive 1 plus 2. Now I can add all of these things together. 30 plus 1 plus 2 is 33. Over 3/4 times 4 squared minus 3. So now I'm going to work it this way and then end up here with the 9. I'll show you how I get that. But first of all, I have to square the 4, which is 3/4 times 14. Now this is set up better than this. So I can do my crosses. 4 becomes 1, 16 becomes 4, 3 times 4 is 12. Minus 3, 12 minus 3 is 9. I put it up here. So it's 33/9. And I turn that into a mixed number, which is 3 2/3 when I reduce it. So 3 2/3. It first becomes 3 6/9, and then I have to put 3 6/9 in simplest terms, which is 2/3. So my answer is 3 2/3. Okay, there we go. Again, anything you need to stop and rewind. I know there's lots of thinking and lots of steps, but remember, pause, stop, rewind, listen again, do whatever you need to do. Now, the next part, part B of our lesson, is simply formulas. A formula is an expression or a setup that always kind of works, like length times width is the area, A equals L times W, and we're actually going to do something like that in Try It 9. Try It 9 on page 81 reads like this. The perimeter, P meters of a rectangular field with dimensions L meters by W meters, is given by the formula perimeter P equals 2 times the length plus the width, which stands for L and W. Then it says find the perimeter of a rectangular field. I say that wrong. Rectangular is how you say it. Of a rectangular field. There we go. whose dimension is 60 meters by 45 meters. Therefore, length is 60, width is 45. So you got to kind of extrapolate that from the words in the story problem. Now I simply substitute 60 into L's position and 45 into W's position. So I end up with P, perimeter, equals 2 times 60 plus 45. This is in parentheses, order of operations. I do this first. 60 plus 45 is 105. 2 times 105 is 210, so the perimeter is 210 meters. Try it number 10 uses a different formula. So given the formula, D equals half times n, half of n, times n plus 1. I forget what this is a formula actually for. It's just a formula, evidently. Anyway, so we just plug in the numbers that it gives us. Now, it tells us, given that formula A, first of all, n is going to be 5 in A. Okay, so wherever n happens, I plug in 5. So D is going to equal half of 5 times 5 minus 2. So we're going to simplify first. We can simplify the multiplying, and then we must do what's in the parentheses. So half of 5, I'm just going to bring that down. Half of 5 times 5 minus 2, which is 2. Now, the beauty of this, if I went half of 5, that would be 2.5 times 2, which I could certainly do. But if I leave it this way, remember, multiplying can go in any order. So I'm going to go 5 times 2 is 10 and go half of 10 is 5. Either way, I get to 10 because 2.5, if I go half of 5 times 2 is also 5. But either way, we get to 5. All right? The reason we can multiply in any order because it has that property where we can combine it in any way we want, just like addition. Subtraction and division, no, but addition and multiplication, we can make it work the easiest for us. In letter B, we're going to have n equaling 12. So same formula, and I recopy the formula to be in good order, and then I substitute in n's position the number 12. So half of 12 times 12 minus 3. So I'm first going to do what's in parentheses. 12 minus 3 is 9. So half of 12 times 9. Now this half of 12 is an even number, so I'm going to do that next. Whereas up here I did 5 times 2 next. If I go 12 times 9, I'm going to get a big number that I got to divide by 2. So I'm just going to do the easiest one first. So half of 12 is 6. 6 times 9 is a fact, which is 54. So that's using the formula on 81. We have one more formula to work through on page 82. Try it 11. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. It is try it 11. I wrote try it 10 twice. Good gravy. 11. So sorry. Anyway, they give us the formula if S equals V squared minus U squared over 2A. Find the value of S when U is 3, V is 12, and A is 6. I always like writing what the values are worth, and then I write the formula and I plug it in. So here I go. I'm plugging 12 into V's position. I'm plugging 6 into A's position and 3 into U's position. So I end up with S equals 12 squared minus 3 squared over 2 times 6. So I have to do this part minus this part over this part. So I'm going to do the 3 parts. So 12 squared is 144 minus 3 squared is 9 over 2 times 6, which is 12. I'm going to need to do the subtracting first. You always need to simplify this down before you divide. You can't just kind of do this and then subtract. That doesn't work. You have consider this something with parentheses around. So 144 minus 9 is 135 divided by 12 leaves me with 11 and 3/12. I reduce that to 11 and 1/4. And there you have it. This is a 3-day lesson. It is just something that we take a little slower because plugging in numbers into formulas requires a lot of thinking and steps and keeping orders of operations straight and positives and negatives. You got a lot to keep straight. So your assignment for the first day is page 82, numbers 1 through 6. So just do basic practice, all of the problems in basic practice. They will tell you what numbers to substitute within the formulas that they give. So if you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, go back, follow the steps, and think it through. Always pause, rewind, rewatch as often as you need to. Okay, thank you very much. Do good math.